for people that like simple, quick, easy, guaranteed deals, I think the cash offer is appealing to them. However, if they can get an extra $10,000, leaving $10,000 on the table is a lot of money. So if there was a way to have that buyer's pre-approval act like almost cash, I think we can overcome the objection to the mortgage process.
Hi, this is Dave Steinberg. Welcome to the Mortgages Made Easy podcast. And guess who we have back? We have my friend MJ Agostini. MJ, as you can see, is with RE/MAX. She is one of the best realtors in the state of Connecticut, maybe the best, and a great friend, somebody who I can't recommend highly enough. MJ, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dave. Nice to be with you again. And thanks for having me on the podcast today. I think one of the topics that I'd like to talk to you today about is the cash versus mortgaged buyer. I just literally finished negotiating a contract for a small condominium here in Connecticut, and we had multiple cash offers, but also multiple mortgage offers. And the mortgage offers were much higher than the cash, and the seller had chosen to take a lower offer with the cash versus the mortgaged offer. So I tried to explain that some of the benefits, with the pre-approvals can certainly help support that mortgage, but they were gun shy about that. So if you can help me help my sellers understand and their lawyers understand how we can use a mortgage product to beat out a cash offer.
Sure. So why do you think your buyer preferred the cash offer over the mortgage?
Well, I think they felt that it would be faster, less cumbersome, less getting tripped up, worrying about the condo association, whether there was enough reserves or there was too many renters, or just that the bank didn't like how the condo was operating. If there's any lawsuits.
Can we summarize that to say that your seller perceived it to be lower risk?
Yes.
Okay, and maybe their attorney perceived it to be lower risk?
Yes, they're older folks and very conservative, and of course, older conservative people see cash as a superior method to purchasing real estate than mortgages, and that's not always the case.
Yeah. So the first question in your mind is it true? Is a cash offer, particularly in your case where you said that the mortgage offers were coming in at a higher purchase price, is a cash offer in your mind superior to the mortgage offer?
For people that like simple, quick, easy, guaranteed deals, I think the cash offer is appealing to them. However, if they can get an extra $10,000, leaving $10,000 on the table is a lot of money. So if there was a way to have that buyer's pre-approval act like almost cash, I think we can overcome the objection to the mortgage process.
Right. So you told me about your senior buyers. Let me tell you about my senior buyers. We were working with a client last week, couple in their 80s, and they are ready to buy. It's a sad story because they went to contract and then had to come out of contract, and because their realtor didn't serve them adequately. It was sad, but they went to contract on a property in New Jersey, not in your territory. And the purchase price, I believe, was $450. And we had them approved for a mortgage. Now, they had the offer accepted on Thursday of last week. On Thursday, we registered the loan. We generated the loan documents because there's a protocol that you have to go through to get a loan approved. And they signed the documentation. So we had the green light to start. Unfortunately, what happened was this is an older couple. They have 2 cars. They were buying in a development that only allowed people 1 parking space, and that's why they pulled out. So just so you have the context. Mm-hmm. But here's the story. We, on Friday morning, had all the documentation we need to submit. So we were 1 moment away from pushing the button to get into submitting their loan. They would have had a clean commitment by 4 o'clock on Friday. I'm not talking about a approval. I'm talking about a full mortgage commitment. You ask, how is that possible? So number 1, they had excellent credit. Number 2, they had excellent income. Number 3, we had run their credit and we had all of their paperwork in our files, in our hands. So when they said go, we were ready to go. Now, they also, because they were putting down a large down payment, they got what's called an appraisal waiver. So in an instance where you have somebody who's putting down, let's say 25%, it's fairly typical to get an appraisal waiver. Now, here's our service guarantee. If I get a written loan, a written approval agreement, not necessarily the full mortgage contract, but the buyer and seller agreement, they sign the agent offer letter or whatever the specifics are. If I have that piece of paper in my hand, I can launch. My clients sign off on the loan estimate, which is the bank requirement to allow us to start. And if we have the documentation and we have the agreement signed, the offer agreement signed, we can submit that loan. Let's start with the simple case. The simple case is they're putting down 20%. They would normally have a loan approval within 48 hours. I'm talking about a full loan approval. Now, if they're putting down 20%, they may need an appraisal. The appraisal turnaround is 7 days, 7 calendar days. So if your client signed the contract today, the loan approval, the offer letter today, we had a signed offer letter today, we could get that loan into the bank and approved. And if not, maybe yes, maybe no. And if an appraisal is done, 7 days later, you have the full approval. No contingencies. Now, you were telling me about the concerns that your seller had. Let me take that back. You were telling me about the concerns that your seller had. Well, if your buyer is buying the home for a primary residence on a condo, there are no condo docs that are required other than the master insurance policy.
That's interesting because usually they require those.
Yeah, but not on a typical Fannie Mae loan. Okay. They do one, if it's something unusual or if it's a second home, but on a true primary purchase. So take the scenario, and now you go back to your seller and go, look, you're leaving cash on the table. Mm-hmm. But let's go one step further. I believe in a concept called the dream team. And the dream team is a situation where MJ is the realtor. And who's your favorite property inspector?
Tiger Home Inspection.
Tiger Home Inspection's doing the inspection. Who do you like for insurance?
Bouvier Insurance.
Bouvier Insurance. So now we have a situation where we have MJ as the agent, Tiger, Bouvier, great attorney, all lined up. We go back to the seller and say, look, we're not amateurs. This is what we do for a living. We've got our team ready. How quickly do you want to close? Because we can close you in 21 days. We can probably close you in faster than that. And we're talking about specific milestones, loan approval in 48 hours from accepted offer. So what is riskier, working with the dream team, working with a buyer who does need a mortgage, but who has the team assembled, who's all ready to launch, or working with a cash buyer who may or may not be as prepared? Which is riskier to the seller?
No, absolutely. And if they know that the payday is an extra, $5,000 to $10,000, and they have that assurance from the lending side of it, then we might be able to secure those. And interestingly enough, most of these cash deals are investors, where the mortgages are owner occupied. And as realtors, we always try to favor the owner-occupied loans. We want home ownership. That's our job, is to get people into homes. And there's such a problem with investors scooping up all the properties. So this could be a really good avenue to get more buyers into homes, first-time buyers, downsized buyers, just buyers in general that are going to be owner-occupied.
And it's all about communication. It's all about communication, because when your buyer makes an offer, and let's say the realtor on the other side is Sally Realtor, I'll call Sally and I'll tell Sally, this is the story. We've run the credit. Bill and Joan buyer, their credit score is 782. Their income is fully documented or ready to submit. They have 150% of the required down payment in the accounts that we verified. We are ready to go. I personally guarantee you the following timetable, and then we lay it out. We will take the risk out of it for the buyer, and we are winning against cash offers because we are strongly communicating the value proposition of our buyers and our team.
Yep. No, it's definitely how to play it. Now, again, I was on the listing side. I wasn't on the buying side, and but trying to talk to the sellers who are elderly and a very conservative attorney. They kind of gravitated toward the cash. So if these buyers had that type of a loan approval in place, I think I could have landed one or two of them that deal.
Cool. So it's all about, and it's about what I call the dream team. And so when you're working with a buyer, the earlier you can assemble the dream team, the more powerful the communication goes to the seller. Because we're hearing nightmare stories of some buyers who are doing 5, 10, 20 offers and getting rejected and rejected and rejected. And it doesn't have to be that way, because if you're guiding them well and they're making an appropriate offer, and we are communicating to the seller that we have a team in place, we have Tiger Inspection lined up, they can come in tomorrow. We have Bouvier, they've already done the workup on the insurance. This has been the Mortgages Made Easy podcast. So happy to have spent this time with MJ Agostini. And this has been a lot of fun, and we should do it again.
Thanks, Dave. Always a pleasure to be with you.